Let's go straight back to the jobs report. 254,000 jobs were added in the month of September, much higher than expected. Lydia Hu is outside the Labour Department with Acting Labour Secretary Julie Su. All right, Lydia, it's all yours. Take it away.
Hi there, Ash. Thank you so much. We're so pleased to be joined by Acting Labor Secretary Julie Su to talk about this morning's surprising jobs report. 254,000 jobs added when 140,000 were expected. Unemployment ticking down to 4.1% when 4.2 was what was expected. I'm sure that you will probably say this is a strong jobs report, but I do want to start with this because it seems like this is changing direction. We have had a series of job reports this year that have indicated a cooling labor market. So my question to you is today's report really an exception or an anomaly?
I mean, let's look at what the jobs report have told us really since the Biden-Harris administration began. We have had a record recovery, right? The numbers of jobs created, the record low levels of unemployment. This is not just like, 4.1% once. It has been the longest stretch of unemployment at or below 4%, near 4%, since most of us were born. That's not an anomaly. And the fact that we continue to see robust job growth across multiple industries, not an anomaly. Now, the story of this economy was definitely not predicted, though, right? 4 years ago, let's just think about exactly where we were 4 years ago. In the last administration, it was September. Back to school meant back to Zoom. We're in the middle of a global pandemic, and there was no national strategy to get it under control. October, kids were being told trick-or-treat is being canceled. We're in a very different place now, right. Not because of 1 month, but because of really strong economic policies that have powered a historic recovery.
Well, let's talk more about this data because baked in here too, we are seeing some revisions. And what's different in this report is that we're seeing revisions to the upside. From July, for example, excuse me, adding 55,000 jobs. That is a change from what we have seen over the past year. Coming into this report, we had actually seen revisions to the downside. The Labor Department reporting that they had over-reported job growth by 800,000. So I'm wondering, how can we even trust that this data is accurate when we are seeing wild gyrations in the revisions?
Well, I would dispute the characterization of wild gyrations. Again, month after month, there has been job growth, period, to the tune of some 16 million over the period of this administration. The last administration was one of only two to lose jobs from the time they came into the time they left. But let's talk about the revisions, because the reason why these numbers are considered the gold standard, the reason why they're relied on for everything from markets to economic policy, is because it really is the most robust collection of data about the state of the job market.
If that's so, then how can we see revisions 8,000 to the downside before, and now we see job revisions to the upside?
I'm glad you asked that, because revisions are a part of the process. We report the data as it comes in. The reason I can come out here every month and report them is that we give people a very narrow window to tell us what happened in the month. They have 13 days to report it. Some people don't make that deadline, right? I'm sure you as a student, I as a student, sometimes we miss deadlines. But once we report it, it gets integrated, for sure. But it gets integrated into the numbers. And so the revisions actually prove just how transparent and reliable they are, because we report the facts as we see them, and the facts are a very good story.
Let's drill down into some of those sectors, because you mentioned a few of them where you're seeing some job growth. But one area where we are not seeing job growth is manufacturing. And that is concerning. In this report, we saw 7,000 manufacturing jobs lost in the country. The expectation was 5,000, and that's continuing what is troubling to some, a trend of declining manufacturing jobs. According to our good colleague Edward Lawrence, who usually has this post, the 3-month average now is roughly 9,300 jobs lost per month in manufacturing. So what is wrong with manufacturing in America?
Again, let's look at the overall picture. So manufacturing jobs have grown under this administration, also not by accident, right? Part of the Biden-Harris Investing in America agenda.
I think it's roughly 160,000 jobs that have been added under the administration for
exactly.
manufacturing.
So added is the point, right? It is inaccurate to say that we haven't grown manufacturing, and we've grown it not by accident.
What's the trend now? Why are we seeing it seems like a change? Because for the month after month recently this year, we're seeing a downward decline in manufacturing jobs.
So the reality is, we are now opening up manufacturing facilities in parts of the country where they had been closed in the last administration. I visited them. Jobs where people had to leave their community, leave their families to go work somewhere else are now able to come home. You're right, though. We're not done. We've got more work to do on this. And part of the Investing in America agenda is the idea is we should be able to make things at home again, right? If we invent them, we should be able to make them here. And you have to build facilities before you can hire people to manufacture things in them. Construction jobs are up, so the building is happening. Those investments take some time, and the fact that we've seen them just in the last 4 years is, again, not a declaration of victory, but a declaration of progress. We're moving in the right direction. We need to keep it up.
Secretary Sue, I want to ask you about the port worker strike, because you have a tentative deal that was brokered just yesterday, stopping what was a 3-day strike, huge implications and consequences for the economy, and also raising a lot of concerns about recovery from Hurricane Helene. Is the reason that we have a tentative deal the hurricane? Would we not have had a deal if we didn't have that hurricane?
So the reason we have a tentative deal is because the parties collectively bargained. You've heard the president say this over and over again. The vice president says it too. Collective bargaining works. It isn't always pretty. It can get very messy. It can get heated in public. But when parties sit down at the table, when workers have a real voice, when unions, right, when workers are represented by unions, they can have a voice in their jobs. They can say, in an industry that I have helped to create, right? Think about longshoremen who work through the pandemic. They do difficult, sometimes dangerous jobs.
Yes.
They support whole families and whole communities, right, as a result. When I was with them yesterday, when a deal was on the horizon, they were ready to get back to work last night, right? So they wanted to be working. And the reality is their ability to get this historic wage increase and for the companies to come forward and make this offer is because the economy is strong, profits are high, and everybody should get a share in it. So collective bargaining works. That's the main reason why it happened. But you're right. It also, what happens at the ports affects everything, right? And it's, it's emergency goods. It's things coming in.
Right.
And the parties understood that they had a responsibility too.
Secretary, we still had a strike that lasted for 3 days. When I looked to your predecessor, Marty Walsh, he was dealing with a labor dispute with the railroads, and he insisted both sides come to his office, and he had talks. He insisted that the union show up and participate in negotiations. Why didn't you do that with the ILA, the International Longshoremen's Association?
I mean, they were negotiating, right? And we're proud of them negotiating.
Did they come to D.C. for the meeting?
We have negotiations here, and we have negotiations where the parties are. We were out in California, and that's how the West Coast port contract was negotiated. It depends on, there's no one formula for these negotiations. But the fact of the matter is,
why not force them to come?
We do what works, right? And under this administration, we have seen historic wage increases. We've seen, industries all across the country, right? Auto workers, airline flight attendants, hospitality, healthcare workers, actors and writers, and both coasts at the docks. We're seeing not just, the goal is not just to reach a contract. The goal is to make sure that workers get a little bit of the prosperity that they're creating.
President Biden telegraphed early on he was not going to use Taft-Hartley, and he also issued statements that he expected a, quote, fair offer as the employers are making offers, kind of passing judgment, I think, on what was being made, what was being extended. Do you think that this administration is giving the union too much power?
I think what we're seeing is working people are tired of falling behind. The last administration engage in union busting. In the last administration, again, more jobs lost than created. I think that what's happening right now is that working people realize that they should get they're really critical in our economy, and they deserve a voice at the table. They should get some of what they've made possible. And the contract that, the tentative that we saw is evidence of that, and we see it across the country.
And now 90 days to work out the final details. Some of those, I think, maybe we can agree might be the most complicated with automation, and we're going to stay on the story. Ash, I'm going to send it back to you.